Friends, now we shall see how we can do screen recording using Camtasia software. So let us double click on the Camtasia software application. We can either select the new project option or you can directly go to new recording option. Let us click on new recording and we get these options to do the recording. Let us go one by one. So the first option what you see is to select the area of recording of your screen. So you may go with the full screen option. So if you select the full screen, then your entire screen of your laptop or computer will be selected for recording. In case you want to do a custom selection, then you can do a custom selection also. I'll show you how we can do a custom selection. Let us assume that this is a PowerPoint presentation which you want to do the recording. So we click on the custom option and we select the region of recording. So I'll just drag it down. Okay, so this is the screen area of the slide where the slide is not on the slideshow mode. So our PowerPoint presentation file is not on the full screen mode. This will also help us to navigate from slide 1 to 2 easily from the left hand side panel. So we select this region. Once we select this region of recording, then we go to this lock option which you can see is open now and lock it. So your region is locked now and now the region is ready to get recorded. Now we will do the settings with respect to the camera and microphone. So if we wish to open the camera, we can select the camera option here. So this is how you can enable your camera. If you don't want your camera to be there on the screen, you can put it off also. You have to check your microphone is working properly. This bar which you see is to be adjusted as per your audio volume. If it is low, then you have to adjust it accordingly. If it is high, then also you have to adjust it. So once you do the adjustments, revise again, we have selected the region of recording. Once we do the region selection, we lock the region. Camera can be put on or off as per our requirement. Audio has to be checked and the audio level also has to be properly set. Once we are done with this, we click on this record button here and we will get a countdown of 3, 2, 1 and the recording will start. So let us click on the recording option here. We get a countdown 3, 2, 1 and our recording has started now. So let us begin. For example, Sambhashanen Sanskritam Tritiyah Pataha. Kim, 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 Etat Kim. So it is asking what is this image about. Tat Pushpam. So that was flower. Etat Kim. What is this? Tat Dwaram. It was door. Etat Kim. Tat Pustakam. It was a book. Etat Kim. So what is the fan called as? Tat Vyajanam. Etat Kim. Tat Falakam. Etat Kim. And like this we can complete our presentation, explain each and every slide. And once we are done with this, you can see the counter is there on the screen itself. You can see how much you have recorded. And you have these three options of delete, pause and stop. If you wish to pause for a moment, for example, there is some break which you want to take and revise certain things, you can do a pause and then again resume. So you can click a pause, the recording will be paused. You can see the counter has stopped here. You can again resume the recording. Once you have done that, you are okay with the recording is done, you can click on stop. Once you click on the stop option, then on the screen you will see the recorded file also immediately. So let us minimize this option here. So the file which we had recorded now comes into this environment, which is the environment through which we can do the editing of our Camtasia recording, what we did of the screen. So let us understand a little bit first. So this is a play button here in the middle and let us play and see what has got recorded. And our recording has started now. So let us begin. For example, we'll do 2 slides. So it is recorded properly. Now there are certain minor editing things which we can do in this Camtasia software And first of all, let us understand, after this is a center place where your recording is saved. Then this, what I am just moving using my mouse as dragging to the left and right, is the time frame pointer. So this is a time frame, and on the time frame you can see two tracks have been created. Let me just show to you these two tracks. So track 1 and 2, you can see the video and audio tracks placed on each other. So this is what is we have to look when we have to do the editing of our video. Now say for example, we have this file here which starts with something which we don't want in the final output. Let us replay it. And our recording has started now. So let us begin. For example, we'll do 2 slides recording. So now, whatever I said in the beginning, I would not like to have that at the end. So what I do, I just zoom in into the timeline using this plus option, so that I get a clear picture that where is the exact position from where I have to remove. 2 slides recording. Okay, so up to 2 slides recording, I don't want to be there in the final output. So you can see now what I'm doing is there are these two different colored endpoints of this pointer. If I want to move towards the left and drag it towards the left, I can select the region which I would like to, for example, cut or trim. If I want to do it from the right, I will drag this another endpoint like this, or I can do it like this. So now what we want to remove is the left side portion. So I'll just drag it till the beginning, right? So from the first second itself, I would want this recording portion in the final output. So this is being selected. Once you select this, you can see this scissor button here, scissor tool, or you can use the Control X command from the keyboard. Just click here, for example, and that portion gets deleted. Now your slide will start from like this. Now this is okay with you. Again, you can see there is a break in between. If you just zoom in little bit, you can see this is an empty portion. When you're doing the final output of your recordings, always you would like to have it as a foolproof, without any gaps and without blank portions. So if I just play this portion, nothing has been said in this much area. So I can just drag this like this again, for example, and again go back to this Control X keyboard option or scissor tool here, and it gets deleted. This is just to show that you can cut the portions in between wherever you feel is required, and accordingly you can remove unwanted portions of your recorded video. That's the first thing what you can definitely do. You can use these left hand side options, as you can see, annotations, transitions, behaviors, etc. One more thing what you can do is you can add beginning slide, as we call, and an end slide also. So what is the meaning of that beginning slide? So say for example, you have this image here, and you would like to have that image as a intro slide. Okay, that can be actually the title of your presentation of or your video tutorial. So watch what I am doing is I am just bringing this and putting it here. Okay, so now what happens, you see, let us play it from the beginning. Now you see there is an overlap here. Why there is an overlap? Because this image which I have inserted is extending beyond the part of the recording, and I don't want that overlapping to happen. So what I do is I just adjust the length of this image to be there on the screen, and you can see it is very easy. I am just dragging it using the mouse left button. This can be done, and let us again go back and now see what happens. Okay, so what have we seen here? That called as an intro slide which we have brought, and then there is this recording which begins. Now there is a jerk in the transition. So if I want to make the transition smooth, so I can use these options of transitions here. There are many options, as you can see. You can explore all these options. I'll use one of the options, say for example flip, where you can see the screen gets flipped. So let me put that. So what I have done, I have just dragged this down, and now I am just adjusting the length of this transition also. So let us see how this gets played. So you can again play and see. So there is a flip between the two different media components. So like this, we can bring a lot of transitions which are available with us whenever we are adding new media components inside the recording. Now let's go to this annotation part. So you can see under annotations, you have all these options which you can see here. And how do you use this? Let us move in the recording. Now here there is a question which the presenter is asking about the image. So what we can do, so I can just bring an arrow like this here. Okay, so that color also can be changed, whatever color you want. For example, you want this color, so colors can be changed. Now what is the change in the recording here? So it is asking what is this image about. This is what you can do as using annotation. So you can have these arrows, or you can see this cloud, square, rectangle, triangle. Some kind of highlighter can also be used, for example. All these things can be brought. You can have these handmade kind of things also. For example, let us use this now. We'll ask Ethat Kim, what is this about? So let me bring this square option here. Okay, and let us see how we play with this. So it is going to ask about this door, right? So it should actually come from where I start asking about it. That was flower. Okay, so actually it should begin somewhere around like this place, and it should also be covering this entire image, right? So I'm just extending it to the entire image, and now let us see how it plays. What is this? Right? So now I don't want it to be covering this book image. So let me see till what point that, yeah, till here the door is there. So let us reduce the size and let us again go back and play. What is this? And say for example, I would like to use this here, Tadwaram. So Tadwaram. Okay, now I want this Dwaram is here, right? So I would like to take it here. And we have to keep a track of the audio also. Tadwaram, it was door. Right, so this should get over, for example, here. So this is what we can do with respect to the annotations. What is this? Tadwaram, it was door. Like this, we can use the annotations. We can also use this keyboard kind of commands buttons here. This is a cloud kind of annotation. So whatever we require, we can have these kind of, we can add text also. You can see these text boxes. So we can add text in between. Transitions we have already seen. Behavior is if you want a particular type of word coming into the picture, you can add, you can have such kind of text, you can see. So you just take your mouse over it and hover over the particular behavior option. You can see how the words come into the screen. Animations you can do. So now this is something which is very useful. So if you want to focus on a particular area of your video, you can do it using this zoom option. Now I'll show you how it can be used. For example, now, so when person is saying here Etad Kim, so let us say at which point in the time frame, and this is the place where it is asking, right? So I would like to focus and zoom into this portion. So I'll just increase this zoom percentage and I'll bring it like this over here. And now see what happens. It was door. So now this is what we can do, like zooming in and zooming out whenever required. So once you have this question here, the answer is also reflected. But where is the answer? The answer is here. Tad pustakam. So I'll just take it like this towards this particular portion. And now see what happens. Right. Now when I want to normalize it to the full screen, I can just do again back to 100%, for example, 100%, and then just resize it to whatever it was, like this. I think it was like this. No, like this. Yeah. And now we can see what happens. This. Tat dwaram. It was door. Etat kim. Tat pustakam. It was a. Like this, you can use animations. Then in the more options, you can add cursor effects. So if your cursor is moving, you can add your cursor effects like this. If you want it to be highlighted, you can select that. These are various options of your cursor effect. So you can bring all these cursor effects like this. You can bring the cursor effects. Then you can add a voiceover to your recorded files later on. You can add certain audio effects. So if you want to remove the noise, for example, then you can definitely do. Then you can bring some visual effects. For example, you can remove the green chroma which is there behind the background, removing the chroma. That is what we call as using the different effects. Then we can have this interactivity, which is very interesting, where we can add a quiz onto your video recording. So that's all about Camtasia. You can just play with this. Oh, and final thing is, once you have done with all the recordings, you have to go to share, local file, then select the option whether you want a 480 pixel, 720 or 1080 high HD video. If you want, you can have that. So your choice where you would like to have the 720 is generally okay for me. And once you do the next, it will ask you to rendering is done. Okay, so once this is done, finish, then we'll just minimize this. We'll go to videos and we'll see the video which we created today, test. Thank you for watching.